Good
That's
evening,
me.
good evening, good evening,
Sorry.
good evening, good evening, good evening, good
Hi,
evening, and
Twitch.
welcome to tonight's episode of Injustice. Um, Sorry for the long stream starting soon page. We got caught up in some stuff. We're still missing AJ, who'll be joining us a little bit later. I hope. In any event, if you're watching this later on YouTube, you won't hear this until it's too late, but you can just go ahead and skip the first 15 minutes of this video. In any event, welcome back. We are joined tonight by most of the cast. Like I said, AJ will be joining us a little bit later as we are embarking on the 6th and final session of the prologue of the Disorderlies campaign in the Justice of Astropor. I'm going to go ahead and have William provide us with a brief recap of last session and all of its nuance, and then we are going to get right onto table as we've got quite a bit, as you can see before you here, a vista, a beautiful scene to explore, perhaps, if I let you.
I want to test something first,
Okay.
and it will take time for the stream to catch up to me talking. Okay. Alright, the sound sounds the same. On the VOD, you are much quieter than we are when I was watching it back last week. So, I don't know.
My mic is up.
You sound fine to me. It was just in that. You sound the same volume as we do in the stream right now, but I don't know what that was.
I see. Thanks for looking out. Hopefully that somehow magically resolves itself, even though I'm not going to do anything differently.
Love it.
Yay.
All right.
William.
Oleander.
Yeah, no, you're good. That was a thing we needed to do just in case, and we'll find out if there's a problem later. We started after we had rested and I think actually we started discussing if we were going to rest. I don't know if we ended with that or not, but some of us did actually sleep, some of us didn't. Kijani and Kai stayed at Kijani's house. And after a fitful night, we all gathered again in the morning. Kijani getting to say goodbye to his parents, and then rejoining us. And as we waited for our friend, whose name I can't remember off the top of my head right here. Noman, yes. We noticed that there was a guy from the Alabaster Fleet standing outside, and then some Noman allegedly showed up to the door. However, we quickly found that it was not Noman. It was the same man who had accosted us 2 nights before, after we had unlocked the vertices. And we, after some tense and we don't know what we're going to do about this situation, the guy from the Alabaster Fleet showed up and knocked him out. As it turns out, this was a changeling. Yes? Am I right about that?
Yes.
Yeah. And he taught us how to identify them as well by just marking their skin. And after some discussion, we decide to go with what's his name so I can say it.
Gaswano.
Yeah. And we do go to the ship, and he tells us to lay low or you'll probably get put to work. And immediately Kijani and Kai leave the room to go and investigate the hallway. And they see a few things, but we find a former witness. I was trying to remember that witness was the right word.
Yes.
And
tired witness.
Who is a Tengu as well as Kai, and actually is from the same clan, like some distant relation. And after being a bit too forthcoming, he warns us against that in the future, because there is we stumbled upon like a dangerous conspiracy that we're now a part of, only because we have the vertices. We have kind of gotten that on accident, clearly. Also, we end up talking to the Alabaster Fleet man, whose name that I forgot already.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of gave it. We actually did kind of get like a rundown. Like when we get to the city, we are anticipating to meet Nomen there, and then from there, if we don't meet Nomen, we'll be there. The ship will be there for 3 days, and if we want to find passage with him, if that's what we're going to do, it would be 12 gold for the lot of us to go out there. But we don't know what our plan is. That's roundabout most of what we did, I think.
Yeah. Thank you. Perfect. Go ahead and add 10 experience points to your character sheet and an evergreen hero point.
What should our experience be at?
10.
10.
If you've given a...
Everyone should be at 10 except for AJ.
Yeah.
Summation.
That's right. So, to kind of wrap up the
Thank
stream,
you. I already had
we did...
summation.
We did kind of talk a little bit after I ended stream last time. Some of the players had some questions, so I know that perhaps some of you following along might have some questions. I want to clear up kind of what you discovered in the massive lore dump that I just dropped on you last time. Effectively, when the Shapers, who are known to the Astropoli people as Weepers, in the myth of the Weepers, when they first arrived in Astropor, to beg the Sphinxes for sanctuary from the war-torn regions of Veonia. They had with them in their possession, apparently, a corpse of one of the old gods, the Veo. It's like a crystal cube that had been damaged. And also apparently, having this item allows them each to access these vertexes, fundamental building blocks of the universe, which our party has accidentally stumbled upon and unlocked for themselves. The issue is that the Shapers originally did not want to comply with the Sphinx's restrictions, but they had no choice. And so they contrived to design a way for their descendants to ultimately overthrow the Sphinxes and create an Astropor that is self-governed. And the way they did that was by creating a blood curse upon their own lineages that would generate what we call today in Astropor the Hexalin, the individuals who might become witnesses. These people are genetically immune to the laws of the Sphinxes. They do not comply with the Triska law. They aren't held by any of those sort of magical boundaries that are otherwise placed on the citizens of Astropor. The thought was that these people would coalesce and rise up and defeat the Sphinxes, and ultimately create a free Astropor out from under that sort of restriction of the Triska law. The Sphinxes, in their wisdom, when they discovered this, rather than trying to stamp out the bloodlines of the Shapers or stop that from happening, instead created the position in the government of the witnesses, and made it such that these people had political power, had influence, had wealth, and would over the course of history never have any reason to really want things to be different, because they would be well taken care of. So effectively, through that little subtle manipulation, they created the government system that we have today, with the advocates, the witnesses, and the Sphinxes themselves. This is all unbeknownst to the vast populace of Astropor. In fact, it's probably only held within secret chambers within the Hall of Echoes, where the witnesses are trained and hold office. But apparently there is a subsect of witnesses who meets anonymously and secretly, so that even other witnesses don't know which of themselves are really in on this conspiracy. But they are seeking to find the corpse of the Veo, retrieve the vertices and use them to finalize that original intention of the Shapers to unseat the Sphinxes. And it's unknown how many or which witnesses are really within this conspiracy, but that's kind of the plot point that is so dangerous for our characters, is that these very politically powerful and also magically powerful people potentially want them dead for what they believe to be the rise of a rebellion against the oppressive rule of the Sphinxes. They're very highly motivated within this kind of conspiracy mindset. They believe they're doing the right thing for the people of Astropor. It's very justified. The means are justified by the ends, sort of thing. So they're willing to murder you and take your vertices to meet that end. So that's kind of the danger. There's a lot that you still aren't aware of, but that's kind of what you got from Ganymir, the retired witness. Do you guys as players have any questions? I know that we went over all that last week after the stream, but I am realizing now how convoluted my story is, so we'll make sure everyone's kind of on board. Great. Cool. So, we join the party now at around 3:45 p.m. on the 15th day of Etten. It is Sun's Day, which is the third day of the week. You left on Heaven's Day, which is the first day of the week. And as you arrive, the Iron Albatross pulls into the port at Manapriet. As it pulls in and anchors, there is a dolorous, somber mood across the city. As everywhere you look across the city, there are these black banners and tapestries hanging from the sandstone walls and from flagpoles. All of them have a sort of gray. It's only just barely lighter than the black fabric. In fact, sometimes you can only see it when the sun flits, but it's an illustration of a man's face in gray on the front, and it has bright white stars where his eyes should be. Does that make sense?
Do we recognize the face?
Vesrin? Actually, you can make a history check for me. Blind, please.
Okay. Where's that?
Oh, right. So you're going to go to your character sheet, go to the what is it called? The hand.
Yeah, proficiencies.
Yep. And then, oh, there's not a history check, is there? Why didn't somebody tell me that sooner?
Yeah.
Oh, you can make a local politics lore check, and you're gonna be trained in that. Your character sheet is not correct here. You're gonna be trained in these two lore skills you have.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay, and this is a blind GM roll.
Yes.
Okay, it has been done.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a while since you've seen him in person, but he has been to visit you before. This is Monroe Calas, the advocate for this city, who perished in the eruption of Phoebe.
So this is a statue of him?
No, it's a banner. It's been.
Oh, a banner. Okay.
Yeah, and it's repetitive. You see it all over. It's a black banner with like a 90% black gray illustration on it. It's hard to see. If that makes sense. Am I describing that well? Do you guys have kind of a mental image of what I'm talking about?
So is it like a mourning? Like they
That's
know
the
he's
impression you
dead?
get. Yes.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Sorry.
Yes. Yes.
You might
yes.
have said that, and I'm.
No, I did
probably-
not. But yeah, no, it's his
Okay.
face instead of his eyes, there are like little starbursts, in
Ah,
white.
I see.
Almost like the coins over the eyes sort of motif. You wouldn't necessarily be familiar with any of the rituals for mourning because it's uncommon. Most people live to be 100 and then they ascend through the zenith.
Right.
But that's what makes this even more of a real tragedy. Is that Monroe, Colossus, and all of the other victims of the explosion were not able to experience the zenith. They died actual deaths, and so they were denied that passage to along the path of the soul. So it's as you step off of the boat down the gangplank onto the harbor, kind of the walk here. It's a sandstone pier. There are people kind of working, but they're all foreigners. People who are in port. You don't see really any locals down here trading. And what you do see when you do see people who probably live here, like coming out of homes and buildings, is they're dressed all in black, and they're moving quietly and somberly, heads down. It appears that the whole city is in a period of mourning of some kind. As Gaswanu comes down the plank, oh, damn! This city really is so much fun. I hate to be here for 3 days and all this dull drudgery.
News travels quite fast.
Yes, I imagine that. Oh, that's a good point.
How did the news of Monroe Collis's death arrive here before us when we left immediately?
There are birds that fly pretty quickly, maybe.
It's also possible that a message was sent by a witness, a magical message.
Fair enough.
You do have magicians. This strange
Well-
country.
Yes. Forgive me, I often forget that that's a possibility.
And I didn't even think of it because where I'm from, it would not have been out of place at all. Do be careful if you plan to wander. Let's see, it's Sun's Day. Supposed to meet Noman on Moon's Day. So tomorrow morning, I can escort you all to the Arbor Palace.
You said Arbor Rain?
Yes, Arbor, R, and then Reign. That'll be that big palace there in the middle of the map with the tree on top.
I'm sorry, spell it one more time.
Arboreign.
Oh, Arbor Rain. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Have I been here before?
You're 12? Yeah, would you like to have been here before?
I mean, I assume that my mom has traveled,
Oh yeah, extensively. And this is kind of
and I probably would have
kind of a
joined her.
vacation. While the Astropolis is very much like a destination for people all throughout Astroport to visit the capital. It's kind of like when you live in DC. You're like, I don't want to go in DC. you want to go out and see things. Manapriet is well renowned as a leisure destination, well known for the bathhouses and the plays that are put on here. There's a lot of entertainment.
So it's like DC versus New Orleans. Got it.
Yeah.
Do I recognize the docks? Like, I guess what I'm getting at is I would basically try to go to a restaurant or an inn or a tavern that I've like been to before that I thought was good, and we'll try to
go ahead and make
to join me.
go ahead and make a society check, because I imagine you've been here like with your parents, so of course you're an independent young 12-year-old and think you know what's best, but let's see if you can actually like
recall.
Manage to perfect. Yep. Taking the reins of the scenario, you turn to the group and recommend that you find something to eat and that you know a good spot right off the docks, and begin marching towards one of the local seafood and pub sort of establishments that's well known with visitors, right here at the docks. It's a little bit touristy, but the food is good. Within a couple of minutes walk, you do find this pub is actually on the second floor, so it has a view of the ocean and the bay. The first floor is you're not sure what's in that building. It's like doors that are closed, but when you first walk in, it's just a staircase up, and then some other doors that are locked. You head inside, walk upstairs. You get a couple of strange looks. Immediately there is a bartender behind the bar. He's kind of got salt and pepper hair and a very well groomed mustache. He's a human man, probably in his 50s, 60s, but he's kind of holding down the bar. He's wearing black, but like black clothes that he's washed too many times, and now they're like kind of blue gray. Like he's complying with the
social pressure, but only just.
Like this is the only thing that he owns is black. So, and the rest of the pub is basically dead. There's one other elderly lady who has a full black dress on with a black shawl, a large rimmed hat with just like kind of the black lace hanging in front of her face, and she has a tiny glass of like sherry that she's sipping. She sits near the window. Sherry that she's sipping as she sits near the window, staring out at the sea. And
my mother's making Mary Mac Mary.
Yes.
She sounds like Sean Connery.
Yeah. She does kind of sound like Sean Connery.
Sherried, not stirred.
Vesrin will say to the group, I sort of like to convince them to go along. Say, I know this wonderful pub. It's kind of nearby.
We're already in the pub, right?
I know. He's going back to give. He wanted to role play the moment.
Retconning. Yeah. I know this wonderful pub. It's pretty close by. They do this fantastic thing where they combine fish that's been heated up in oil and they mix it with like this root that they also heat in oil. It's delicious. I think they call it fish and chips. We should go.
Do you just usually say heat and oil when you say cook things like fry things?
I don't know that frying something is something that I would be.
Yeah,
like definitely something. As Vesrin, who has had all of her meals ever prepared for her and then brought to the table.
That is only under asking, like, you know how it's done, but you don't know what it's called. That's interesting. Let's go. That sounds good.
Sorry, what's it called?
Frying.
Frying. Yes, that's right. I wanted to say flying, but I thought that might not really achieve the goal. And flying fish are something totally different.
Damn city folk. God. Let's go.
All right, as you all head off into...
I'm really more suburban.
Everything. This is everything about where you live is where from is way more of a city than me. Out on the farm that I grew up on, Bud. Not Bud. You're not a man. You can go. You can be Bud still. You're my Bud still. That's fine. I call you Bud.
Women can be Buds too.
Yeah. I retract that. I did call you a Bud. I did call you Bud. I'm.
Anyway.
As you guys actually begin to walk off in this direction, You begin to hear footsteps kind of jogging behind you. Pum, 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 as Gaswano runs up. On second thought, I'd better keep you all under thumb. I am being paid to keep you safe. Besides,
Oh,
fish and
well,
chips sounds
join
great.
us. Join us. We're going to a pub. It's called the Old Familiar.
The Old Familiar. Ye oldie
Apparently, they
familiar.
cook fish in hot oil.
It's called frying.
Yes, apparently.
Yes.
And he
Well,
looks at
you would not-
He looks at Gaswano like she doesn't know what frying is. That's the thing. Like, and hot
Kijani
oil.
looks at Topros and goes, "Well, you would not cook fish in cold oil, so."
I mean, technically.
How does Kijani feel about cooking roots in hot oil?
I mean,
Uh,
certainly being a vegetarian is not like, but like, is Kajani a carnivore? Because being a vegetarian would be.
Kijani doesn't have to eat.
Kijani eats sun
Cannibalistic?
juice.
Kijani eats.
I mean, there are
It was more
leshies
than
that are
because he is a
carnivorous
root.
plants, though.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
are there leshies that are
That
based
are-
off of Venus flytraps?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
potted plants, yeah.
Badass.
Not
Make our way to.
and indeed, as you arrive at the Old Familiar and head upstairs, it's dead. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, the city's in mourning. As you walk in, the guy behind the bar is just wiping it down. He looks up, kind of, and is a little bit crestfallen when a bunch of 9 and 10-year-olds walk into his bar, and then Gaswano follows. And he goes, "Good afternoon. Welcome to the Old Familiar. Get you something?"
I'll have your strongest drink.
No.
No, he was not.
Okay.
Um,
Do you have sunny drink?
I might have something in the back, actually.
That is very strong to me.
hello, Rufus. It's been a while.
Yeah, well, my name's Mike, so...
You look a lot like a man who used to work here 3 years ago. Twins?
No.
Perhaps.
No, but I've only been working here for about a year, so...
Oh.
Perhaps just got a bad memory.
Oh no, she thinks that everyone looks the same when they serve.
Well, Michael, we would we would very much like well, I would like an order of fish and chips. I won't presume to order for the rest of the group.
Yeah, sorry, got that. You do have coin, yeah? I guess one said, yes. Yeah,
Sure.
we will be paying for our meals and everything, of course. As Mike looks over you guys, kind of raises. Obviously, he does a lot of business with foreigners, travelers, because he's right here at the port, but hasn't had a lot of business lately, probably. He's, yeah, all right then. 1 fish and chips. Anyone else said?
Yeah, that sounds good.
I will
Brilliant.
also take the same thing.
Do you have any frozen dairy with like sugar? Maybe.
No.
We all-
No. How do you expect me to keep it cold?
With ice?
Yeah, expensive ices.
I'm from the capital. Such things are, you know.
Of course you are from the bloody capital. All right. 4 fish and chips, and 1 for me as well. Guess what it says. 5 fish and chips
And some sunny drink, please.
and some sun drink. Let me see what I can pull up, and he turns around and kind of heads back into the kitchens. Like I said,
What
this
an
is kind of
unpleasant individual.
this pub is kind of sat up on top of probably a warehouse or something, but it's got windows all the way around on 3 sides. It's kind of a small square room with the bar sort of in the middle, and the windows on all 3 sides kind of look out at this incredible view. It's got the kind of almost low burnished wood ceilings and just typical pub feel, really. There's no music playing. It's just kind of quiet. It's the 6 of you, 7 of you with Kasvanu. Kind of just waiting in the bar. So we should probably take a seat then. It's kind of
I'm
weird.
sure Kai also ordered food.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Probably.
I lean over to like, so probably shouldn't say where we're from and be honest about it.
Well,
Because everyone from the capital is fleeing for their lives.
No, but it doesn't matter. And just having any information out right now, I don't know what's going on. I'm just trying to keep us safe.
I would make the assumption that if witnesses that have no problem killing children also know how to read minds or cast spells that allow us to read minds, that they might try to read minds of people who come into.
Okay, so we should just talk about it freely then. I get that there's.
I mean, I'm not
I'm
talking
just
about
try-
anything sensitive. We are from the capital. That's not. You
Yeah,
know how many people are from the capital?
No, I
Yeah,
was
There's
making.
kind of a
I know
connotation.
that there's like six kids that are missing. Like at some point, that's going to be information that
They do
Yeah.
not know
it
particularly.
doesn't matter today. It might matter in 3 months though.
Yes, please be aware that Sari's mother could have put out some type of report about her son missing, and therefore, then
I believe it's
my
called
aunt.
an all points bulletin.
Yes.
Okay.
So, if reports
you.
get out and then they say, "Hey, we are all here in Mana Priyat," then they have a trail to follow, and we don't want to leave breadcrumbs or roots.
I'm not saying that what just
All
happened
of these,
was a problem,
whatever.
but I think that going forward, it could be. That was pretty fine.
I'm
But-
going to be honest with you, kids.
Yeah.
From
For
what
the
I've,
first
I've had time to think about it. No, not for the first time. I've had time to think
For the
about
third
it.
time.
If they knew to send a changeling to the safe house that Noman had set you up at, there's a pretty good chance that Noman has been compromised, this Noman character. His plan was for you to meet him here in Mana Priyat. So it's probably a foregone conclusion that they know you're at least here in Mana Priyat.
Well, we do not know that the changeling is related to the witnesses.
That's fair enough.
He spoke. He spoke. What did you call it, Vezeran? Like old veil?
Oh, yes, that's right.
So, whomever sent the changeling probably knows you're in Mana Priyat.
So we should leave Mana
It is.
Priyat post haste.
Thinking about it now, taking our. Can you close your ears for a second?
Sure.
I don't think this is going to be very successful. I would advise you not say whatever you're about to say.
But then I will forget it.
That is okay.
Would you like to write it down? We have lots of note cards.
Veteran says, "Man, that Gaswanu is a right prick, isn't he?"
Are you done yet? Can I? No? Okay, alright.
Kijani is going to like get really close to Oleander and like climb up and whisper in his ears. If the colors give us the ability to cast magic in Astroport, I assume that others outside of the witnesses would also want that power, right?
If they know about it, yeah.
Okay. So basically everyone hates us.
That's
That's
I'm
a bit
only
of a
talking
logical
to-
leap.
Yeah.
Oleander.
That's
And
Oh,
his-
sorry.
That's a little much. Say
At
it
this
that
point,
way.
I
Mike
feel
comes
very-
out to the table. He's got like plates lined up his arms. He comes out and lays them down. Right then. Hope you will enjoy that. Anybody want anything to drink? No, he did
I'll
bring
have
also
water.
he found an old
Okay.
dusty bottle.
Okay.
It looks like one of those like bulb bottom like olive oil bottles. And it's kind of a little bit glowy, like it's still got some oomph to it, but it's probably a little
Yeah.
stale.
Kitani is just like staring at it.
What do you have available?
Ginger beer.
Sure.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, I'll have
That's
one of
the only
those
thing
then.
I have that's not for adults only.
Oh. Well, all right then. I suppose I'll have a ginger beer.
Great choice.
So that is all of us having a ginger beer then, right?
Well, that's up to you
no.
guys. I want.
He has
one,
walked.
but-
He has walked away.
Yes, I suppose it's either that or seawater.
So
So
what is your plan then?
that was going to be my question. So, given what has occurred, what should we plan on doing? Because we can't go home, and we probably shouldn't stay in Astropol.
Well,
You would like to.
Tanomir said that we should all split up.
What?
Tanomir said that it would be intelligent for us to split ways.
Who? I'm sorry. Above
Ganymede.
table.
Ganymede, the Tengu,
The retired
old
witness.
blind Tengu.
Yes.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay. Got it. Got it.
Well,
Right.
he is an old senile man. I don't know if we should necessarily go with that idea.
I don't know.
So
He seemed to have
you-
his wits about him.
You,
Kai
uh,
like
dude,
is
yeah,
cutting you daggers.
the reverence that we hold for the witnesses and their wisdom, even after retirement, I do not expect you to understand, but I very much believe in what he had to say.
Okay, so let's take that under advisement for a second. So we all go our separate ways. How many of you have survived outside of Astropol?
I don't think any of us have really had to survive anything.
That's a bit.
Exactly. No, I'm simply making the statement that all of us just going on separate ways seems a little dangerous.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
think that,
everything about this situation is more than a little dangerous.
yeah, he's not going anywhere by himself. I pointed to Johnny, like that's,
I want to go to where my people are from.
I wanna be where the people are.
Which, above table, I have no idea. I don't even know if it's written that. But
I think
yeah, I think that
he-
Go ahead.
yeah, I think that Leshy are probably pretty widespread. Like there's probably not a nation of Leshy.
no, not a nation, but like, where were they? He's going to look at Gaswana and go, speaking of which, where are my people from?
So,
I did not get that far in
the-
school. I don't know.
Forest.
I don't think he actually knows where your people are from, Akijani.
Do I know?
No, it's kind of like asking where are humans from? Like, yes, you could ultimately argue
that
that
would be like you should ask your mom.
like Mesopotamia, if we were talking about real world, like yes, but
I
it's
was-
so far back that like it's not really people don't pilgrimage to Mesopotamia because that's where humans were. You know, it's
Mm. There's
yeah.
There's not any kind of like congregation of Leshy in the world.
Mm.
Like true.
they're just very common, I should say.
I would love to ask my mom.
Problem isn't. No, I think that splitting up isn't the worst idea, but I also agree with Topheros's analysis, and we can't all split up fully. Us being on our own is a bad idea, but I also think
simply
that us being
saying
together is all together is a bad idea too.
I understand that. I'm just. It would be a very bad idea for. I'll put it this way: when I came to Astropol, there was less of a concern because I was coming to a safer place than where I came from.
Mike comes back and puts down a couple of wooden mugs in front of all of you. Frothy, room temperature, fermented ginger drink. It's about
Nothing says delicious like room temperature ginger.
Yeah.
Thank you, Michael.
It's not really refreshing. It tastes tasty enough. It's kind of sweet. It's a little bit like ginger ale. I mean, I'm sure you've probably had. It's a little sharper, a little spicier, I guess. It is about like 1 to 2% alcohol. That's what like keeps it clean and safe to drink. Realistically, is the process of fixing it. It's just because it's not seawater.
So, yeah, we may have to split ways, but we probably should have a way of contacting each other, or know where each other plan on going.
Honestly, the way that you just described the situation of the whole mind reading and everything, like why should we know where we're going? If they get all of us, then that is their goal.
Okay, so I guess I'm just going to have to come out and say it. I'm concerned about all of you.
I think we're all concerned about ourselves.
I'm also
just
fairly
want-
concerned that somehow I'm really quite lost in all this.
If no one
Yes.
doesn't show up tomorrow, then we don't have that's what we don't have a plan. Our plan was to follow you because that's what the plan was. But now you made it seem like that plan is probably compromised, so we don't have one. That's what we're trying to figure out. I'm confused too.
No, I mean, yes, no, absolutely, 100%. But I'm confused. I'm just not following why you 6 are being hunted.
Topros
It's
took
not our
it-
secret. Well, it is. I keep wanting to use that against you. I keep using it incorrectly. Then pissed off about it.
Topros used the moment lens to get an inappropriate photo of a witness, and now they are mad at us.
Blackmail? Surely not. Let me see.
And that would
well.
defeat the purpose.
That of all the Johnny.
He's a kid.
Gasono, we stumbled upon a age-old secret that is worth killing children over.
Okay. it's a little
I
bit
think
more
that is really all
believable.
you need to know. That's really
Fair
all
enough.
you need to know.
Completely fair
That
enough.
was more than I would have said.
If you do intend to scatter to the wind, as someone who's already compromised, as far as being interrogated by mind readers, I could keep track of your whereabouts, try and carry correspondence between you in my various travels. It wouldn't be frequent, depending on how far away you are, but you could use the Alabaster Fleet to pass letters.
I would like to sense motive.
Oh, okay.
How do I do that?
Perception check.
It is
It's
a
a
blind
blind
perception check.
Perception sense.
Yeah. He seems sincere. What are you? Is there something in particular you're trying to pick up on? Or
So he's been very helpful because he's getting paid, but he's also seen to have been giving some little inklings that he's actually a nice person.
yeah. Okay.
And I want to know if he's actually a nice person, or like, is this because he's getting paid? And do I trust the fact that he is a nice person over the fact that he's a mercenary and might sell us out?
Right. Okay. So ostensibly, you get the impression that he puts on this face of being someone who always cares about getting paid first and foremost. But you do, over the course of your time with him, you have gotten, he does have a not insignificant moral compass. He's a good guy. He does like money, and so there's always that sort of vice. I mean, everyone likes money, but like he is a mercenary. So, but you get the impression that he's pretty genuine. Now, mind you, I wouldn't carry your letters back and forth for free.
There we go. That makes more sense.
But you could
Actually makes me
rely
feel more
on the
comfortable.
that you could rely on the Alabaster fleet. You could any ship that you saw, you could hand an Alabaster crew member a letter with my name on the front, and I can guarantee that its secrets will be kept until it reaches me.
Well, that's the first little bit of stability in all of this, and thank you very much for that offer.
It may be
Side
best though
hustle.
if we're going to use letters, maybe not use our real names.
Yeah, use code names. You could be Shortbread, and
He
you
did
can
not
be-
say. He did not call me.
you can be
shortbread.
Olive Oil.
Who did he point out when he said olive oil?
You.
Kijani looks at him and he goes, I think I have told you once before, you can call me Kijani.
Right, but it's a code name. You should choose just like cake ingredients.
Okay, you can call me Kijani. The accent is in a different place. Different name altogether.
Well,
I'm just,
Kijani.
Kijani.
I'm just saying.
As he finishes his fish and chips. Oh. So, you lot gonna pay for? No.
Yeah,
Sorry.
well,
what?
I go to like. I stop as soon as I hear him. It's like, oh,
And he does leave just 3 gold on the table. All right. I think you lot are pretty. We're not too far from the ship. You do remember how to get back to the Iron Albatross from here?
Yes.
Go
we
to the
do.
big ship that's on the water.
Yes, I led you here. What are you
Okay.
talking about?
Look, I'm gonna go see if I can't scrounge up some entertainment for the night.
What do you
Oh,
mean
I'll see all of you in the
entertainment?
morning.
It's not really appropriate
Hey.
to talk to kids about that.
hey,
No,
are
the plays are very popular in Manfred.
You said that we are allowed to wander.
I did not say anything of the sort. I
Okay,
said,
but you
be
didn't
careful
say
if
not
you
to wander.
do.
Right,
I'm not
so
your
we
parent.
are allowed to. No, you are not. Decidedly.
Yes, but you've sort of taken on a father role.
Don't
no,
say that.
he hasn't.
Oh no, let's not do that.
Don't do
Let's
that.
not do that.
I was reading a book by a man named Freud.
I'm
and
really look. I have one
Are there
more night to
windows
keep you
here?
safe. If you could just do me this favor of not doing anything stupid.
You
Tomorrow
have
morning
one
I'll be
book.
shed of you.
I thought, wait, are we not going with you to wherever we're going?
Oh, you very well might be, but that would be a whole new contract. I am paid to protect you until I drop you off with Noman tomorrow morning, assuming that happens.
And if it doesn't happen, what are your instructions?
There were no further instructions.
So
We
then,
had a whole
having not
conversation.
completed your contract,
No.
you would not be shed of us.
I
If-
would
if-
because that's the end of the task.
Norman, we discussed that it would take 12 gold to get the 6 of us out of Astroport, correct?
Yes.
So if in fact Norman is not here, I'm assuming we're all leaving Astroport.
going to Veonaya.
I don't know if we've decided that far if we're all going there, but
Well,
That's where
he
the
said that is their
Iron
next
Albatross
stop,
is
so-
going.
oh, I suppose. Then
Right, try not to get into too much trouble. He stands up
What
and,
is too much trouble?
and leaves, ignoring your question.
Kijani looks at the rest of the group. Is there an appropriate amount of trouble?
No trouble.
No trouble. Okay. Any trouble? Too much trouble. Got you.
Everyone roll a blind perception check for me.
Blind.
Hello.
Hi, Twitch.
AJ.
Hi,
Hi,
Twitch.
Is our favorite neighborhood not a government drone there?
Yes.
Yes.
Friendly neighborhood, not a government drone.
You've just enjoyed a platter of fish and chips
Oh yes.
in a pub called
My
the Old
favorite.
Familiar.
Mm. Yeah, that tracks. I can confirm that Kai's not a government drone. I was just in Washington, D.C. I double checked.
That's where they recharge. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, Kai was not there, so I can confirm.
Yeah, maybe he was all
Hello,
topped
Eris.
off.
what's else?
Well, I mean, if he's not there, and he's not here.
Did I get those
Where?
perception checks? Yes. Great work,
Oh,
everyone.
sorry.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I did not do one. Sorry.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Oh, okay. Tophoros, Kai, Saradwin, and Vess. Really stupid rolls. You all notice that the elderly lady has been perfectly still this whole time. And is just kind of, you can't see past her lace veil, but she seems to be keeping an eye out on the docks.
I cut my eyes at Vestron. And then
And
cut
she
my
seems
eyes towards the lady.
Like, she has sipped, like, in this entire 30 minutes to an hour that you've been here eating and drinking and conversing, she has had like 3 sips of her sherry. And just sitting by herself in a booth next to the window that looks out over at the port. Just bringing that to your attention. That may be utterly useless information, but it is unusual.
Vesrin waves over Mike.
All right, without your whoever he was, you're really not supposed to have just like kids in the pub. So
It's okay. It's 4 o'clock. Come on. Are you really getting up to a lot of rousing right now?
he sweeps the 3 gold off the table.
That's what I thought. I have a quick question before you walk away. Who's that lady over there?
Dunno. Nosy.
Okay, so she's never been here before.
No, bit of an odd one. She's got
Well,
the one.
that's what. That's
She's
why I
got the
was
one glass
asking.
of sherry this morning when we opened at 11.
That's the same glass that she's been sipping the entire time.
Yeah,
She's been here for 5 hours.
she didn't leave a tip either on it. One fucking glass, been here all day.
And just looking out the window.
I guess so. Maybe she's mourning our benevolent advocate.
Yes, tough spot that. I mean, no insight into anything about her at all. Nothing.
Look, kid, I don't know why I should care.
Because she's
Paying
in your
customer.
establishment, and she's. I mean, is she really for 5 hours? Is she really?
It's not like, as you've mentioned, we're getting up to a lot of rabble rousing. It's not like I'm in dire need of the booth.
Okay. Yeah, but you've got to, you know.
Be honest, since all
Wait
this
on
morning
the-
business, haven't had a lick of traffic.
Liquor.
Had
Hardly know her.
had 2 people in here all day yesterday. Just the 2.
Was she one of them?
Yesterday.
No, what? I would notice if she came back 2 days in a row.
The-
No, yesterday it was a pair of blokes. They, come to think of it, they came in and out a couple of times. Kept buying food though. Jolly chaps.
Anything unique about them?
No.
I mean, other than your other daytime clientele who doesn't spend money here. And they did.
Why are we investigating random bar patrons?
That's a great question.
couldn't
I
it-
have a similar query. Are you planning on getting anything else?
Well, I don't know. It sort of depends on the kind of information you can offer us.
I could tell you all about the menu. And our
Tovo's
delicious
definitely
specials.
looking at Vest kind of confused.
All right.
Even if there is
Thank
something
you.
going on here, I
Can I
Thank you, Michael.
offer you
Doesn't
some
matter.
brownies? Got really excellent brownies.
That's you know what? I think we've had our fill. She hands him a silver piece as like a tip.
Thank you kindly, miss. Feel free to sit here all you like. He heads back
Do you want to go talk to her?
Vesserin stands up and walks over to the lady sitting by the.
Vest,
Okay.
Vest, we don't have.
The rest of the color in Sergeant's face leaves.
We don't have to. We don't have to talk to anyone. Don't just talk to random strangers. Okay.
Oh no, the music's changing. It was happy music.
Vesserin walks up to the table and like grabs the other chair that's at the table and like drags it along the floor, and it makes like an inordinately loud noise.
Sure.
Seat taken. Miss. Madam.
Hello.
Hi. Is this seat taken?
No, I'm sorry, dear. I do not want any more right now. Thank you.
No, I don't work here. I wanted to chat with you.
why? Vesserin, just get the. What are we doing?
Kidani
We
will
have
walk
way
up
more
behind
pressing
her.
things than random people that were in the bar that we happened to walk into that you remembered. No one even invited us here. No
Flashback
one's
to when
spied
Sid
on
was
us.
like, I'm not gonna let you guys just kind of like run amok in the city. Gives us
It's
this
gonna be the
re-
last
Yeah.
session. He even began the video with it.
Oh no.
Standing put a
Kidani will
random
walk
person
up.
in a tavern, and here we are.
and just grab
You guys just
the
can't resist
back of Vestrin's
random
cloak
ass
and just start
NPCs.
pulling.
Vesserin taps on her shoulder and says, "Sorry, who
Oh,
are you waiting for?"
I'm not waiting for a person, darling. I'm waiting for a boat.
Oh, which one?
Vesserin, I can usually have to talk to Kijani about being rude to people. This is incredibly rude.
can we
Let's
please
please
go?
leave. I'm embarrassed.
She turns back to the window.
All right, well, enjoy your sherry.
Oh, don't. It's fine. Let's go.
Vesserin turns back to the table, goes
Mhm.
back and sits with the rest of the group.
Kijani does not go back and sit down.
Okay,
He
so
walks
Did he
towards
stay
the
there?
door.
Oh.
Important thing to say moving forward. If we in fact leave Astroport and we go to Veonile or wherever you go, you do not just talk to random strangers and expect them to be kind or expect them to be cordial. Some of them are bad people.
Well, no, I know, but Sari kind of cut his eyes at the person and then to me and then back to the person. I thought he wanted me to go talk to her.
Oh, so we have to learn how to read the situation. Also,
She
technically,
seemed
we are.
perfectly nice. If
No,
a bit
she didn't.
dismissive.
No,
Yeah,
she
she did.
She was okay.
Let's leave.
All right. As you do head out of the tavern, head down the stairs, back out into the streets, you can see, if you look to your right, down the lane, kind of slanted downward towards the port, you can see the Iron Albatross floating at the quay. To your left, up the street, it kind of continues to slant upwards slightly. A good distance away, past a couple of cross streets, you can see a theater with, like, the lighted marquee out front, and there are a pair of beautiful young ladies in bright red bikinis with, like, plumes, large red feathered plumes, just outside waving customers into the entertainment. Otherwise, it's not very busy there either. It's clear that these women, like, work here, but in this sort of period of mourning, there's not a lot of foot traffic. There's just, it's got to be all for the sailors, because you don't see locals really milling about in the district at all.
Are there any terrorist birds around at all? Like, is that a common thing used here?
They are common in Astropor. I would say you see a couple, but again, it's just not that busy of a day.
Mhm.
People there's probably a
that was-
government mandated, like, mourning period.
Gotcha. I was just trying to make
Mhm.
sure, and things that I could potentially decide to do going forward.
All right. Anything else this evening? We skip ahead to tomorrow morning. Okay, perfect. You guys-
Vesserin will, while she's back on, I assume we're going back to the ship. She will.
I would also assume you sleep on the Iron Albatross. Yeah.
She will, while she's awake, be looking out for unique looking ships and keep an eye out for the bar patron.
Okay. Yeah. Most of the ships in the Quay are of Astropoli make. Astropor has a very impressive navy, surrounded by ocean, and its shipbuilding innovations are quite world renowned. These all appear to be Astropor ships, with the exception, of course, of the Iron Albatross, which is a very unique ship in and of its own. As you all head back, and as you're coming down the steps into that crew quarter bay where your rooms are, you can see that the small apartment area where Ganymir was staying over the course of his trip is vacant. The doors are open. It's been completely cleared out. It's not just like a wooden walled room. It's not. There's all the pillows, all the incense, the lamps, cleared out.
There is one thing I would like to do before we go to bed.
Okay.
Going to find Sari.
I imagine that's not too difficult. I found him.
I just wanted to let you know that once you are in a safe place, it will probably be okay if you send your mother letters. But you may not want to tell her where you are for a time. And you do not be tempted in telling her why you left. But You should definitely send her a letter.
Are we all privy to this conversation?
I don't know. I don't know if we're all in the same room or not.
I mean, we all share the same quarters.
Yes, I would assume that you could be close enough, as you're all like on the Iron Albatross at this point. I know that Topher specifically sought out Ceridwen to have this conversation, so maybe they're kind of sitting. They could be sitting like on the top deck. It's like evening now. The sun is setting. And it's kind
Where
of
would you have
dusk
been,
light.
Jonathan?
I don't know. Part of me thinks that Sari would just be on a deck that he could look at the water, like looking towards the Astropolis.
Yeah, that would be out. If you're looking at the map here, that's out way across the Spiral Sea in this direction.
Gotcha.
Would be towards Astropor's capital. Let me go ahead and I can, real quick, since we're on the verge of needing this, I think. Yeah, so Manapriet is like over here, in these little archipelagos. Obviously the Astropolis is over here at God's Eye Bay. This is the Spiral Sea. This is the Cerulean Sea. And then where you would be heading if you chose to continue on this journey with Gaswanu and the Iron Albatross is around the Spiral Bay through the Cerulean Sea up to the Himamkara Mountains, which are these mountains, and probably a port. Just here, this whole region is Veonaya. It's a nation built on these rising plateaus and highlands.
There is so much to consider with all of this. I really wish that it never happened.
So do all.
So do all who live to see such times.
It is not for them to decide. All you have to decide is what to do.
Good
Time
night.
is given to you.
It's I agree.
Double fisting over here, Cam? What are you?
It's fine, don't worry about it.
But I'm just letting you know, staying in touch is a good idea. You don't want to be in the situation where you find out that the ones you love are gone and you never got to say goodbye.
I have no reason to believe that they are gone now. But after hearing what we heard, it's a possibility.
Definitely is.
We're gonna need you to look out for us.
Well, that's what I plan on doing, assuming nothing else happens, even though I don't know if all of us would have suited for Veonaya.
It seems like everyone is taking it in their own way.
I mean,
Truthfully, the only one that I'm worried about is me.
why you?
Vestrin has her wit. Oleander has his own charm. Kijani is afraid of nothing in the world except for storm clouds and a lack of sunny drink. And I don't know if I've ever seen Kai
And
anything less than okay. Unfortunately, of all of us, You've had to deal with the most actual real world problems, and you're still here.
There's a lot of things I've experienced in that, and I will say that you find out what you're made of when bad things happen. And Seri, I understand that you may not have had to deal with a lot, but I don't think you give yourself enough credit.
I feel like I'm made of nougat. Like, just soft, gooey, not good for whatever this is, but we'll see what happens.
I can be by your side, we're going to be okay. Also, there's another option. Instead of getting off the boat, we could join the Alabaster Fleet. I mean, they are a bunch of mercenaries, but at least I assume once you join, there's some safety there.
That is an option that deserves serious consideration. I have my hesitations, but in all honesty, I don't really feel very certain about any option at the moment.
I get that. Well, tomorrow is a new day with its own dangers and hopes and aspirations.
Indeed. And with that, as you all try and find fitful sleep once more in the hammocks of the bowels of the Iron Albatross. That brings us to the following day. Let's just get forward here, the 16th of Etten. That'll be Moon's Day. The 4th day of the 6-day week. You will get up the following morning. Quite early with the dawn. There's still a brisk wind cutting over the ocean, the bay beyond, and cutting across the bow of the Iron Albatross as you ascend up to the main decks. You can see Gaswanu kind of leaning against the main mast, waiting for you all. He's got a cup of steaming, probably coffee or tea in one hand and a lit pipe in the other. If you come up. Morning. Hope you slept well. Right, you don't have to answer that. We'll have to hire a gondola to get over to the Arbarain Palace. It's unless you want to swim, which I don't. But that's where we're supposed to be meeting Noman this morning. Are you lot okay?
Yeah, just fine. We didn't just have to abandon our entire lives.
Look, kids. I was only about 3 or 4 years older than you are now when I was bought into this job. Eventually earned my freedom, but I don't wish that test of mettle on anyone. People say that trials and tribulations make you stronger. I don't think that's true. I think they might make you stronger faster, out of necessity. But don't feel obliged to lean into the strife. If it's possible that you can find a bit of comfort in this world outside of the glorious glowing halls of Astropor, maybe just do that. It's just my 2 cents anyway. Right then.
How did you do it?
Do what?
Cope.
Oh. It's amazing what you can do when your other option is to just lie down and die.
Hopefully.
He heads down, starts walking down the gangplank.
I adjust the dagger hidden in my belt in its scabbard and continue with him.
Alright.
Kijani is going to kind of like jog up to him and go, I don't think that we should be the ones to see if Noman is there.
Yeah, you're probably right. We'll hire a gondola, or climb on, go to the base of the Arborane Palace. I'll go ahead and head up the stair and see if there's anyone there waiting for us. And then I can come back and collect you.
Okay.
Great.
Do you know how to whistle like a nightingale?
No. I know how to walk back down the stairs and
But
tell
what
you.
if you are compromised?
take
at the
quite a
top
bit
of
to
the
compromise
stairs.
me. Don't worry, Beansprout. We'll figure it out.
Kijani's face just goes slack. He's like,
Basically, you walk from the harbor over to this little section here with these little boats. And you climb aboard one. There's a man waiting to ferry people about. He also has a somber expression on. He's wearing all black as well. It's a little bit salt stained from the ocean water. It sprays up on the sides. But, he climbs aboard. Gaswanu pays him as you all take seats, and it pulls away from the little port and just does a quick circle. Basically, you come around here and then comes over in front. There's a canal here that goes all the way across. Does that make sense? And you come up to the base of the stairs right here, these tall stairs that lead up to the Arborane Palace. As you come up right here, basically. Everyone on the scene?
Mhm.
yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Who is talking right now? It says Jonathan, but Jonathan's not there. So as you come up to the scene, Gaswanu hops off. He gives the gondolier another silver. Just stay here for just a moment for me. He heads up. A few moments pass before you hear his footsteps clopping back down the stairs. Alright, kids, come on. I've got your babysitter back.
He's here.
Yes.
He wasn't wearing sunglasses, was he?
You shook his hand and did the.
I met him, yes.
He's got.
Josh, what?
Look, I
bird
understand
did
why
he-
you're nervous.
No, yeah. What bird did Kijani ask you to whistle? Like, I know you can't do it. What? Just tell me. What bird did he ask?
It was I don't know, I only know seagulls, really. Thrush?
I grab his hand and like
Hey!
draw a line.
It's normal.
Okay. Look, just
Look, I can't blame you.
okay. Well, go on. Let's go.
All right.
As you all step off of the gondola, beautiful, beautiful palace rises up before you. These tiered sections, just full of plant life.
I will.
And
We'll be right back. Sorry.
Jerry. Jerry's the worst friend. Like, I can't think of anyone worse than Jerry.
Damn.
I'm just kidding. In the brisk morning air, as the sunlight is just kind of peering up and sparkling off of the flowing waters, the waterfalls that pour forth from these enormous lion statues on either side of the palace, kind of fill the air with a gentle mist and an ambient sound. As you climb up and come into this central square, you can see Noman standing before you. He looks world-weary. His bag's under his eyes. He is leaning on a staff. He's holding him up. As you approach. I am so glad that all of you made it here safely. Money well spent, Kaswanu. Thank you for your services.
Show me your eyes.
He's not wearing glasses. He leans down. And they are hex patterned. I see you've
I
had reason to
presume-
distrust.
I presume that Gaswanu informed you of the events at the safe house.
I got a brief overview. It seems your enemies are far more resourceful than I anticipated.
How did they know to impersonate you?
I was waylaid by some colleagues. It's complicated, and this is not the place to speak on it, but you have dangerous enemies afoot.
That much is very clear.
We were filled in by someone who knows things.
Noman looks at Gaswanu, who kind of gives him a... Well, that's good. The more information you have, the better prepared you will be. Probably. Alright. I'm not sure it's safe to stay in Astropor. We should plan a pilgrimage across the Amethyst Wastes. Find some place to hide in Veonaya.
I'm
Just
sorry.
give Gaswanu 12 gold and he will take us. We had this
Gaswanu.
conversation because we thought that you were gone.
That sounds much better than marching across the Amethyst Wastes.
That sounds like a
Gaswanu,
good way to die.
Thank you for your services. Of course, Mr. Noman. Always a pleasure. As I mentioned, just in case anyone wanted the services of the Iron Albatross, we'll be leaving Mana Prayet on Heaven's Day, just in case anyone was curious. 3 days. Thank you. And he heads back down the stairs.
Sorry. Why would you rather walk to Vayanaya than to take a ship?
It's a matter of who we can trust.
But the amethyst. But we know about the amethyst waste
Yes.
and the whole breathing issue,
Right.
right? The amethyst wastes are very dangerous.
It's what also makes them safe.
Sorry, above table. What's the breathing issue?
So the purple sand of the amethyst wastes is like powdered, crushed amethyst crystal. It's very fine, very lightweight, and gets kicked up easily, and can come into your lungs. And it's not really great for you at all.
Sure, gotcha. Okay.
The only citizens of the amethyst waste, people who actually live there, are the Oreads, the earth elemental tinged people who have no issues with additional mineral intake. Yes. The very thing that makes it dangerous also makes it safe from hunters, people who would seek you out.
But you
Make a
Having
trust
no men
everyone
on-
can make a
trust to get us
everyone can
here.
make a
Yeah.
sense motive check.
Having a Noman on the ship would be what drew attention. If he was trying to help us find the place to be safe.
Sorry, sense motive.
Is a blind perception check.
Got it. Okay.
I'm gonna use a hero point.
Yeah, you are.
To roll with advantage.
Mm-hmm.
I actually would. Also like to do that,
I will
but
also
I
use a
decided
hero
that-
point to roll with advantage.
Okay.
I will roll a
Didn't know how
second
to
time.
do that. I just rolled
Yeah.
twice.
I just
That's
have a second roll.
Okay. Good to know. You're gonna make me actually like comb through these.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Masons are together and AJs are on the other side of Masons, so that's easy.
So easy. Where are you, Kai? Kai. Okay. Tovros. Vesrin. Kijani. Where's your other one? Kijani. Okay. Everyone except for Vesrin and Kijani. You kind of notice Noman somewhat nervously looking over all of your shoulders, like past you, down the stairs.
Sargent looks down, looks behind him.
Yeah, as you turn, you can see at the bottom Gaswano getting onto the gondola.
What's wrong?
Nothing's wrong. I want you to meet
Please
a colleague of
stop.
mine.
I also look down, and I look down. Gaswano.
I want you to meet a colleague of mine.
I'm yelling down to just get his attention.
He does turn back. The gondola is about 5 feet away from the shore now. He turns back. What?
Nightingale was the whistle sound.
I can't hear you.
I whistle like a nightingale. As loudly as I can, I guess.
Okay. I really don't know what that's supposed to mean. As he kind of and the gondola continues on. Well, he waves.
You said you had an associate.
Yes. At this point, a woman walks out from the palace, from underneath the shade here. She is dressed all in black. She has kind of a thin dress, but it's got poofy skirts at the bottom. She walks out. She has a bird. It's a small vulture, rested on her shoulder, and she walks out. And she has a completely black parasol as well, although it's folded up at the moment. Hello, children. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Mensura Danica. As you can see, she has Hex's eyes. You know Mensura Danica, the name, but probably haven't seen her very often. This is the youngest witness besides Phoebe. This would have been the person immediately under Nomen.
Hello.
Hello. It's so pleasant to finally make all of your acquaintances. Nomen and I just made the journey here this morning. Look, I know this has all been very stressful for you, and it seems that you've really bucked up, powered through, shown incredible resolve. So much more than should have been asked of you children. I promise we will find a solution to this. At this point,
I'm sorry. What's the problem that needs a solution? In your estimation?
Well, you know, it's just going to be very difficult for you to lead normal, successful, productive lives with this affliction. You don't have any of the benefits of the Sphinx's protections. I believe
Neither do
that
you, but the witnesses seem to do just fine for themselves.
Miss Quinn, I'm certain with research we can restore to you all of the protections of the Triskelaw.
So you're looking to take these back?
Yes, ideally.
Why would we want to do that?
At this point, you hear the clicking of a cane coming from kind of behind you. You turn around to see Ganymir Pevek using a cane as kind of a blind man's stick as he walks forward. As he steps out from beneath the arbors, you hear a sharp intake of breath from Danica.
Kijani runs to Ganymir and he goes, Ganymir, it is good to see you.
Calm down now. Do not make any sudden moves. As he's walking forward, he kind of steps out into this central square where all of you are gathered. Danica, is backing up. She pulls out her parasol and pulls out a little stiletto blade. What are you doing here? I think you know why I'm here, Danica. As his eyes begin to glow. And he begins to lift off of the ground a little bit and float towards her. She holds up her sword. You can see now that Nomen is completely slack-faced. Just make a...
Oh.
Okay.
You can make an occultism check. Occultism, recall knowledge, blind.
Those are words.
Yep.
Hit the occultism button, and then hit the blind GM button, and then click roll.
There's an occultism
You get to the occultism button in the hand.
Yep.
And then
Yeah,
down.
There's an
Go.
occultism button.
Click it.
I found
and
it.
then make sure it's blind, and then click the roll button.
I done did it. I found it.
Great work. Kijani, Vesren, Sarah Twin. You all get the distinct impression. now that you're seeing kind of this unfold, you can see kind of threads of magic coming from Dunika to Nomen, as if she had been puppeting him up until this point, and now her attention is elsewhere, and he is
Page
just
84.
completely slack-faced.
Sergeant looks
like
at
he's dead.
No, he's alive. He just has no will.
Sergeant looks at Vesper and goes, page 84, page 84, page 84, page 84.
Johnny.
Is that where the free
daylight
archetype
out,
rule is?
right?
What?
It's daylight
no, that's
out,
it's
right?
a book with magic in it, I guess. I don't know. Studies. Smart
Oh, okay. Kijani, what did you say?
It's daylight out, right? Like it's light.
Yeah, the sun is-
Is
the
this
sun is
like
rising.
a crowded place?
No, you're the only people in this square.
Okay, Kijani will imagine like a short sword and just like create a blade of light.
Okay, and indeed,
And
Lumo-
point it at Danica.
Lumos Maxima. She, her raven, vulture kind of spreads its wings out. And takes off from
What?
her shoulder and begins circling above.
What did you do to Norman?
Ganymede, why are you here? Dunika, I should have known. Young, impressionable, easily manipulated. They should not have sent you for this task. As he holds up his hand. A presence seems to emanate around him. An intense presence makes all of you want to like lay down. It's just very suddenly this force of will is just emanating forth from him, and you can see kind of behind him in sort of a constellation mirage an image of a sphinx as he holds out his hand. Dunika appears to just be like in a wind tunnel. It's just stop this! Stop this right now!
Can Vesper use Touch of Obedience on Danica?
If you're within touch, you can certainly try. Let's go ahead and roll initiative for the first time. I mean, not the first time, but this time. You're all gonna need
Tonight.
characters on the map, except for Genevieve, Kijani, Oleander, Topher.
Leo, what do you have?
Bestrin.
Is it going to be possible for us to go maybe a little bit past 10 to see this resolve?
I am fine with that. Does anyone else have a strict cutoff? If we do 10:15, is that gonna break anyone's sleep pattern?
That's fine.
10:15 is fine.
10:15.
I am exhausted, but can last.
Hey, same.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
There's
Alright.
no active combat.
Oh my God. My worst nightmare.
Hey, DM.
Hey.
Are we public rolling?
Yes.
Yeah, you can public
yes.
roll initiative. Yeah.
It will
I just want to
be
see the.
very quickly public roll.
I know where the initiative button is.
It's on the left on the banner.
If you go to the
It's right underneath
the
perception. It's right underneath.
encounters,
Yeah, that's
you
true.
should just also be able to click it on the.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see. The drop down there is perception.
That's true. Most
But it's
people roll
written.
perception for initiative, but you don't have to roll perception for
Oh.
initiative. If you're hiding when it breaks out, you can roll stealth for initiative.
If you surprise attack somebody in a conversation, you can roll deception for initiative.
That's true.
In some cases, I think you might have to have a feat for it, but it might be not.
Yes, okay. Perfect. All right. And with that, we'll go ahead and come over to...
Can you use a hero point to re-roll initiative?
Yeah.
I feel like that's something
Yeah.
that should be true.
Yeah. Do you want to?
I'm gonna do that,
All right.
or I will have advantaged it.
Basically, yes. Okay.
Hey yo.
What's
Yeah,
that?
that was the right choice.
What's that for you? 22? All right. Where's Vess? Vess. 22. Did you already have? Oh no, you just rolled it again. Okay.
I rolled it
see,
again.
see.
I
So that
had
moved you.
6 as my initiative.
I see. Okay, perfect. All right. With that being the case, at the where is a at the top of the round, Ganymede, who is now floating, his eyes are bright, luminous blue globes. He has discarded his walking cane. He has his hand pointed out at Dunika and is causing this gale of celestial energy to just blast past her as he is floating forward. He says out loud, "Release him, Dunika. You cannot win this fight." We'll go ahead and go to Kai.
I'm gonna. How far away from my dude Noman am I?
We'll say that you're within 10 feet of everyone.
Okay, I'll
You guys are pretty
run up
close,
to Noman and like just try to like shake him. Like I
Okay.
don't know what's really going on because I did not get that check earlier, so I'm just gonna like try to wake him up. Like,
All right.
hello.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and make a roll for him with that. Okay, good to know. You don't get any reaction from him. He's just
Okay. And
so that's a
then
move action
I-
and then interact action to attempt to help him into persistent effect.
Yeah. Can I do another action
Yeah.
point to help to remove that? Or can I only do that once per turn?
No, technically, because this is kind of all, we're not actually technically playing Pathfinder yet. So yes, sure.
Okay.
This
Great.
isn't an
Yeah,
effect on a stat block. This is a
I will
homebrew
just
thing.
continue to shake him.
Yeah, I'll let him make another check. Okay, he rolled a 3 and then a 4, so
Hey, it got a little better.
it did get a little better that second time. You see a little bit of flicker behind his eyes, but not much.
Cool. That is concluding the turn.
All right, Kijani, it is your turn.
You said that we saw like threads of magic.
Yeah, like puppets, threads.
Yeah, and they're going towards like one of Danika's hands, or
Yes, over to Tanika. Her hands are technically full. She's got the parasol in one hand and a sword in the other, but
okay.
a little stiletto blade. It's a short sword.
Kijani will also run up to Noman and go, "I'm sorry, but I think this will work." And I'm gonna stab him in the leg.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh, all right. Go ahead and make make an attack roll for me.
Ow.
So because you don't actually have a short sword on your character, you're gonna need to make an unarmed strike on your strikes tab. It's probably the same proficiency anyway. Okay. Excellent. You do in fact stab him in the leg. And I will make a roll for him. Hey,
No
getting
man.
better. It's an 8.
Be getting better.
An attack is not an activity, right?
It's an action. So you ran over and then
Right.
you attacked.
Still holding the sword, I go, "Wake up!" And I'll kind of hit him in like his tuchus with the sword. I'll slash at
The
him
flat?
again.
Or no, you're slashing at him. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead and make a multiple attack penalty attack.
That's a -5.
It's a short sword. It has agile, so it'll be -2. Just roll your unarmed attack MAP level 1. Everyone's following along with that.
-4.
18.
Great work, Johnny.
Yeah. You absolutely still manage to hit him. You slash across. I'll make another roll. You could have just shook him, but 6. Okay. Can't roll higher than a 10.
Oh.
Why are we trying
buddy.
to kill Noman?
Well, I thought that dealing like real damage to him would wake him up more readily. Like
You do know that
DC would
killing
be
someone
lower
will
or
cause them
something.
to sleep for a very long time, right?
Sleep in perpetuity.
Yes, indefinitely. That brings us to Vess.
Seeing what everybody else is doing, I'm also gonna run over to Noman and shake him.
Okay, excellent. Hey, 14. You shake him.
Yo.
He's got his staff. Vestrin, what are you... What? He looks up, and as he sees the scene unfolding before him.
Junika is here. Ganymir is keeping her at bay. We need you to intervene or get us out of here now.
Or both.
Okay, he's gonna roll initiative now. I need to retire this dice. Is that all of your turn?
I will start walking toward the staircase to go down, like to leave the platform.
Okay, like kind of back towards this direction.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. That will bring us to.
And by walking, I mean running away.
Right. That'll bring us
Quickly.
to Saradwin. Yeah, you can move your full movement, 25 feet, with one action.
It's 30 feet. He's an elf.
You.
She's an elf.
All elves have 30 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I am going to run down and start screaming after homeboy. I forgot his name. G-Man.
Ganymir.
Ganymir. Yeah.
I will say that Saradwin, when you look back at Ganymir, you can very clearly see the constellation of the Sphinx kind of right behind him, also sitting proudly. It's got one clawed hand pointing at Dunica as well. You would probably assume that everyone sees this clearly, but that is not the case. This is something that you see specifically. What I will mention is that you don't recognize the Sphinx. It's definitely not one of the three.
So where is the Sphinx? He's like
It's just an
in the
illusion,
sky?
like behind him, kind of Susanoo almost, just like around behind him, like an aura,
It's a JoJo stand.
I guess.
That's right. Great work.
Okay.
I haven't
That's
even
good
watched
to know.
it. I just know I just know the reference.
That was a weird show.
I didn't make it past like the first or second season.
Farther than I made it.
Okay. So, what would you like to do, Sarah?
I really
You
don't
said you
know
were
my
running over
options.
to him?
Ganymir was on the boat, right?
No.
Like
That's Gaswano.
Gaswano.
Gaswano is what I was talking about.
Oh, sorry. Gaswano.
Yeah.
He is... Yeah, he is on the boat. He's now probably about 10, 15 feet away from the... Like...
Yeah, I was trying to run and get his attention.
Okay, cool. So you're going to use all your actions to run down the...
Right.
Great. So that's 90.
Do I have a
30. So roughly, with some corner turning, you can get like here.
cool deal?
All right, good to know. Brings us to Oleander.
Okay, noticing that all my friends decided to do other things than this, Oleander's still kind of stupid and decides that he can help, and he's gonna go and try to disarm her.
All right. Using the dagger.
That's not. You have to have it. It's a freehand thing.
Okay. Yeah, you make a check to disarm. You have to critically succeed to disarm.
Yeah.
Right.
That's not gonna happen. But
you could roll a 20.
It could.
It's an athletics check. Or
You have a hero point.
I think
I have the evergreen one
it's true.
that I need a 20. I need
Critical
fine with
failure,
that, making
you
this
lose
thing.
your balance and become off guard until your next turn. So now you're
Is that
flat-footed.
what happened? Oh.
I'm not gonna use my third action because I don't have another one. to do.
Okay. Great. And that brings us down to Tophoros.
Okay, surveying what's happening. Some people are trying to get Nomen straight. Sari has ran to get Gaswano. I'm assuming I heard Sari yell Gaswano's name. And so I'm standing in front of... I'm standing between Ganymede and...
Yes, all of you are basically. And somehow this like celestial wind, which she is just being baffled by, is not affecting you at all. You can't even feel it. You're standing in the way, but you're not like being blown around. You can see this aura presence and feel this incredibly powerful force of will coming from Ganymede, but it's just her.
Who all saw the Sphinx?
You all kind of barely caught glimpses of it when he first started
Okay.
this spell.
Okay, seeing Oleander on the... He fell, right?
No, he's just off guard. He's flat-footed.
Oh, seeing Oleander like lose his footing, I'm going to use an action to take the dagger out of the scabbard that's strapped to the inside of my pants, I guess.
Yep. Okay.
And then I'm going to use my movement to run up to where Ollie is, and I'm going to hold the dagger out in one hand towards Mensura Danica. Leave us alone before I make you
Okay. Are you gonna
triple
make
in hand.
you make an intimidation check?
Sure, I will use my last action to try to intimidate. Sure.
Demoralize.
Demoralized. Let's see. I have a -1 to this. It's okay.
You always hit that nat 20, you know.
Do you want me to blind do this blindly?
No, it's fine.
Okay. A 6.
She's not paying attention to you at all. Her eyes are locked with Ganymede's. She's got kind of forcing her way against this. She looks like a freaking witch of the West. Just this black dress. She's just kind of wailing against this phantom wind. Got the stiletto in one hand. She's trying to claw her way forward. She's literally walking into this force and not being able to keep her footing.
And that's all for my turn.
At the end of your turn, it will be her turn. She will reach out and basically toss the parasol and cast just a cackling bolt of electric energy from her hand. A fourth. This is probably the first time that you've seen violent hostile magic up close, ever, except for you, Tophoros. And it is the smell of ozone, the snapping of the electricity, the dazzling of the light. It's quite astonishing to those people who, if you've never seen anything like this before. And as she squeezes and causes this lightning, Ganymede, who is struck by the lightning, kind of you cannot compete with me. And as this is occurring, at the end of her turn, you all rolled really high, and she rolled a decent. And then down here at the bottom, we've got Noman. Noman's going to turn, kind of realizing what's happening. He's going to drop his staff as well and reach out and grab these sort of invisible puppeteer threads that you can kind of barely see, gossamer thin silver lines running from her to him. He grabs them in his hands as if they were just physical threads, even though we know that they're threads of power, magic. And he wrangles them. And then he begins to hold them up. And he empowers them with a forceful sort of jolt of magic, and you can see them flash bright blue lines of power as he attempts to reverse the spell on her. Okay. First decent roll all night. All right. And with that, as he grabs hold, you can see she just suddenly becomes slack herself. And he's breathing heavily. Kind of wipes the sweat off of his brow and his sleeve as Ganymede floats downward. She is more powerful than I expected. Ganymede, far too old for this shit. What? Oh no.
Gas photo! Gas photo!
Yeah, as you reach down to come down to the bottom.
Yeah,
he's
did
like,
he see like the lightning and everything? Like,
as you reach down, you're like knee deep into the water. You're like waving your hands. He looks back. He's like, "What? Help!" He like taps the shoulder of the gondolier guy. He's like, and they do start coming back around the other way. As Noman, very carefully holding the threads. I don't. How did you? Ganymede, did you bring them here? I suppose I accompanied them for a ways, but no. They were brought here by a mercenary, Alabaster Fleet. Goodness. That was money well spent. What happened? Somebody fill me in.
apparently changelings can still change in Astropol. You were one of them. Or they were one of you.
You met someone who looked like me.
Yes.
Yes, in the safe house.
He tried to take us.
The same one that attacked us the other night.
But he could not change his eyes.
Yes, I'm aware of the changeling in question. He's a hireling.
For who?
Witnesses. I've employed his services myself. Lucky Ganymede was here. I thought you were retired back up to the mountains. I was. But there was bad wind. Decided it was time to leave Astropolis. The Astropolis, he says.
Astropos.
Astropolis. That's a strange way to pronounce that word.
The best way to pronounce that word.
As
Funny
Ganymede,
band name.
Ganymede reaches down and finds he's like patting on the ground, looking for his cane.
I'll reach and grab it and
Yeah,
hand it to him.
you hand it up. Thank you.
Thank you.
They're not going to come after you now, are they?
It doesn't matter. I don't matter. Noman,
I think you matter.
if Danica is... If we cannot trust Danica Mensura, then our list of allies grows thinner. You're quite right. I didn't expect this at all. I thought to find an ally on her. I was ambushed. They must have gotten... If they knew where the safe house was and knew right where you were, they must have gotten quite a bit from my mind. I'm sorry, my knowledge has betrayed you. They likely know that we are here, if Danica was working with them.
Yeah, we came to that conclusion yesterday, too.
Where's the damned bird?
Flew
It
off.
flew away.
Fuck. Don't ever repeat that word, children. It's a very bad word.
Fuck.
Appropriate.
Sorry, I had to.
At this point,
So-
not Ganymede, Gaswanu hops off the gondola next to Sarah. What are you doing in the water?
Please help! They're fighting up there. There was lightning coming from this woman's hands.
What? And you both start running back up the stairs. Just in time to come. What? I was promised lightning.
We called for help. We before you got on the gondola.
I thought we were just waving goodbye because I had made such an impression on you.
You did make an impression. Glad you're back.
You know, we have a long history, Tefros.
Yes, and I tried to indicate to you, Nightingale. We talked about what do we need to say in case something bad is happening. Gijani said Nightingale. You said you didn't know what the bird was. I tried to hint that that it was a problem.
Oh, Nightingale. That was the bird. I have
Yes,
no idea what it
a
sounds
thrush
like.
is not a very common bird here.
It is late. You're late to the church. Norman, we're going to have to leave Astropol, right?
I didn't want you to have to leave Astropol. I thought I could hide you here. The witnesses
Are they going to hurt you?
probably not. Not immediately. The members of the witnesses that wish to revive the powers of Veo, it's not even known among us who they may be. They always meet in secret. It could be the rest of them for all I know. I don't meet with them.
Which is the one that changed your designation to go to see Phoebe instead of be at Atticus's?
The senior witness. Ama Kodama. If she is against us, let's just pray that she is not against us. The woman is terrifying.
I think she's probably against us.
I get this strange feeling she is against us.
Hate to jump to conclusions. But
We've
the
been
other
jumping
witnesses
to a lot of
can't.
things.
The other witnesses can't really act out against me publicly. That's why
What if that happens again?
This domineering. I didn't think she would stoop this low, although this sort of thing was always her speciality. I don't know how long I can keep it up. But as long as I can get back to the Astropolis, get back into the public eye, I can keep myself safe.
Can I walk over and touch Danica and try to use touch of
Touch of obedience? Yeah, absolutely. You call that ability to the chat so I can read it.
Yeah, just a moment.
Should be on your actions. The little
yeah,
diamond.
feats.
The
Wait,
little
hold-
diamond tab. Actions.
Actions. Yes, here we go. Wait, why won't it call it to chat?
I can look at your character sheet too.
I clicked on it. How does one call to the chat?
Oops. I've done it so much. Public roll. You click the double diamond icon.
I did it. Oh god.
All right. So she's gonna make a will save. Okay, she fails the will save, but not critically. So she is stupefied 1. For mechanical purposes, she's already under the dominance, but for story purposes, you can kind of see her withdraw and become even less sort of resistant to the threads of power that are puppeteering her. That was terrifying. I'm sorry. That's not a spell. I don't. How did you do that?
Kitan is still holding his sword.
Sirijan is unmoved.
How yeah. How advanced are your powers? What is it like holding a vertex?
I'll grab like a rock or like a leaf, it was like something, and just like shove it into
And it just vanishes.
Yeah. And then I'll like turn, so like reveal it in whatever angle I need to be.
That makes my head hurt.
Bestrin just kind of gestures at Janika and is like, that's what it's like, at least right now.
You need to get out of Astropor.
Yes.
Leave the justice altogether.
Do you have 12 gold?
Give me your money.
Yes. He pulls out. He pulls out a bag. It's got 10 platinum.
Oh.
I can't know where you're going. I've already been compromised once.
What about our families?
The more they know, the more danger they'll be in.
But are they already in danger?
I will do my best to look out for them.
My mother's an advocate. Surely they wouldn't.
He's a witness.
That is true. Advocate Quinn probably has a certain level of protection. Can't act directly against her. But I'm sure I don't need to tell you the threads in the game of power in the Astropolis. If they want it, in several years' time they can manipulate it so that perhaps someone else becomes voted in as the advocate for the Ridgeline. No one is beyond their reach, and they are patient.
Because they will outlive them all anyways.
Not you. They won't outlive you. Assuming you can stay alive.
Wait, what do you mean?
How do we learn how to use these? You know magic. This is magic. How do we do this?
How do we get better at
You
this?
need a tutor.
Wait, do the colors make us live as long as witnesses? Because a normal Leshy would I don't know. Probably not outlive a witness.
Oh, I don't know. How long leshies normally live?
Das ist helpful.
At this point, Ganymede speaks up. Yes. I think that we need to split up. I hope that I can help.
Are you going to be our tutor?
I can teach those of you who are interested how to command divine magic. But I don't think we should all be in the same place. Besides, divine magic is not suited to all types. You should seek out masters in whatever interests you.
Do you know of any schools for arcane magic in Veonaya? Since that seems to be our destination.
I would be careful in Veonaya, but then you have the eye for politics already. It's a magocracy, a meritocracy. Your status in the world is judged by how capable you are with magic. It doesn't matter who your parents are.
Vesrin smirks.
It doesn't matter who your friends are. They have ranks that they wear like badges at all times. Holographic glyphs that float around their heads showing their status. It's a viper pit. But it is the best place to learn magic in Mythonos. Just know if you show up there without a glyph, it doesn't matter how much money you have, you are a pauper. You have to work and earn it. It will be very tough.
Where can I go to learn how to be as fierce and unforgiving as the jungle itself?
I love Kajani so much. Just an 8-year-old tree staff. I am fierce warrior. You will teach me be fierce warrior.
I've heard of vicious hunters of the Glasslands. You can find a guide to take you there. That might be where I would start. Let me switch us back over to a map of Mythonos. How would you like it if you could see all these places I'm talking about?
Mythonos. Hey, you have a map?
My guy, I do. Alright, so this is...
Here's the map, here's the map, here's the map.
This is the Justice of Astropor. It encompasses this entire spiral. You would know, and I haven't mentioned this, but I will now, just to be transparent and don't feel like you need to remember this, but this island out here is a place where witnesses go to train. It is outside of the Triskelaw, but the land is technically owned by the Justice of Astropor. So it's... people can... This is where, like, witnesses hire outside experts to come and teach them, because magic works here for everyone. And they have a keep here in the Sulphur Mountains. That's not what they're going to be called. I do have a name for them. I've forgotten what it is. Sulphur Citadel, I think, is what it's called over here. They have like a palace castle here where they witnesses go to train in magic from masters in magic from all over the world who come and are hired to work there. So this is the Glasslands. It's a jungle marsh sort of region, where when you're standing there, the way that the sun hits it when the sun is rising, the entire plain appears to be just like reflecting the sun's light back up at you, and it looks like it's just glass mirage all over it. That's where it gets its name. The jungles of the Glasslands might be a place where you could find such fierce warriors and druids.
That is where I will go.
It is a dangerous place. You should hire a guide. Noman just says, really was trying not to know where you were going to be.
God damn it. Oh, sorry, I thought my internet cut out.
Oh, then go away.
Take my money. Send me away.
I do not know what else to tell you. I will run up and give him a hug and say, except thank you. Thank you
It
very
is
much.
the least I could do. You 6 might be... Something is coming. I don't know if it's a rebellion, a revolution, or the cleansing of a corruption. But either way, something big is coming.
I have one more question. Would the Sphinxes see us as a threat? Why can they not protect us?
Between you and me, I don't know that the Sphinxes have full capacity any longer, or if they are just figureheads. I've heard tales from older witnesses, from archives in the Halls of Echoes, of long conversations with the Sphinxes, debates on theology and logic. In my 150 years in Astropor, I've never heard one of them speak.
They looked.
Did Xander not speak to Atticus when he was at his ascension? I look at Topros.
He did go over to Atticus and talk. I could have sworn.
That seemed to be what you witnessed. You witnessed, yes.
I believe so, but I did not hear what he said.
Ganymir speaks up at this point, who's the oldest person here by many centuries. It is true that I have seen a decline in their participation. I have my own suspicions about the Triskelaw Sphinxes.
Are there other Sphinxes?
Perhaps.
Okay, I'll point at the elephant in the room, or the sphinx, or the ancient bird, as it were. You had a sphinx that kind of glowed behind you when you were doing things.
Is that so?
It is so.
Curious. And you could see this manifestation.
I could. I did.
Are you a Sphinx?
I am not.
Okay.
Saradwin, if you wish to study the divine arts, I believe I can help you.
I just want to help.
Noman at this point. I've overstayed my welcome. Come on, Danica. Let's go home. And he gathers up the binding magic and begins just walking down the stairs. She kind of stumbles after him. He's clearly not nearly as good at manipulating the threads as she was. She just looks like kind of zombie-esque. She gets to the top of the stairs and misses the step and tumbles. Damn and double damn. Harder than
She
that.
deserved it.
Two of them make their way down.
Don't pretend that was an accident.
Gaswano is still here, right? Because he was.
Yes.
We have to make a decision.
You do.
What?
But I believe all decisions start with the Iron Albatross.
If we would they take on Cabin Boys?
In the Alabaster Fleet.
If that sounds, I don't know if that's a obviously or obviously not with your tone.
If you show the right aptitude, willingness to work, of course.
Most of my experience has been on land and with birds, but hey, I'm sure the skills aren't transferable.
There are many members of the Alabaster Fleet that don't consider themselves particularly seafaring. It's just the best way to get around and do the jobs.
I just figure if we're gonna split up, best to have somebody who could keep tabs if we wanted to.
Well, and even within the Alabaster Fleet, if you wanted to split up, there are many ships in the mercenary group. It's an option to all of you, theoretically.
This is the worst birthday ever.
How old are you?
14.
It will probably get better.
That's the spirit.
I have to say, as far as summer vacation goes, probably my least favorite so far.
Probably my least favorite so far. And that is where we will cut the stream for tonight. Thank you all for joining me for this final episode of the prologue as we prepare to jump into a 8 to 12 year gap in the story. Yeah,
That just
exactly.
means 10.
I haven't
I
exactly.
thought you were about to
decided.
say 8 to 12 year campaign.
8 to 12 year gap in the story as our characters will wander forth on their own, hopefully staying away from any incursions and violent run-ins with anyone looking to kill them.
As we go on,
Yeah.
we remember all the times we had together.
All right, guys. I'm gonna cut the stream. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye, Twitch.
Bye, Twitch.
Bye, Twitch.
Bye.